we are bringing you live visuals from the national capital. Those are refugees from Pakistan and Afghanistan who are currently holding a protest against Delhi's Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. This over his anti-CAA remarks, and they are currently outside the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's residence is what we are being told. Those protests gradually gaining momentum. These, as we are learning, are people from Afghanistan, refugees in fact, from Pakistan and Afghanistan, all protesting against the Delhi Chief Minister. In fact, for more inputs, let's quickly go across to Arunima, who's also joining us with the latest inputs on this news story. Arunima, tell us, what is the sentiment at the moment with these refugees from Afghanistan and Pakistan at the moment?
See, the reason for these protests is because Arvind Kejriwal did a press briefing yesterday where he said, very questioned literally, that there are limited employment opportunities available in India. And we are seeing unemployment numbers rising. There is some anxiety amongst the youngsters in India about their future. And given the tight resources, given the crunch on our resources, if you're going to give citizenship to more people, bring in more people, will the threat on those resources not increase? That is the question that Arvind Kejriwal asked. So the protests that are happening right now are to negate that point. The posters you say, CAA कानून के भ्रामक बयानों पर अरविंद केजरीवाल माफी मांगो. So he's essentially, these refugees are saying that everything that they are accused of by the Delhi Chief Minister are misleading, they are not factual. In fact, I spoke to some people in Majnu Patila, Delhi area, and one of them, actually a refugee from Pakistan, pleaded with folded hands. Maybe we can pull out that clipping and show. He pleaded with folded hands that I'm not here to take anyone's job. I'm not here. I will not even do anything which is against the law of this country. It's a matter of life and death for me and my family. My wife and daughter are not safe there. Our harvests are burned down, looted. There is no police in Pakistan. So where will we go? India is the only country. It has always shown a big heart towards persecuted people of the neighborhood. And that's why we have come here. Please don't treat us as your enemy. So that's what the sentiment was in Delhi. Similar sentiments could be seen in other parts of the country as well. These Pakistani refugees have come to Rajasthan and other parts. So these protests, I think, Aam Aadmi Party will allege that these are supported by the BJP, but the sentiment.
Absolutely. In fact, Arunima, I want to know from you the kind of divided reactions we've seen emerge after the CAA announcement was made, because on one hand, of course, the opposition is trying to capitalize on the announcement by making it a more divisive issue. Having said that, take us through how it was also met with celebrations across the country, whether it was the Matua belt in West Bengal or even people in Jammu and Kashmir. There is enough reason for the persecuted communities now of our neighboring nations to be celebrating at the moment.
So let me tell you about the kind of messages I got and the kind of sentiments I could capture moments after the citizenship amendment rules were notified. One group in Jaisalmer said, "Aaj to mirchi vada aur kachori ki party hogi." In Jaisalmer, that's the popular delicacy, and they were celebrating that these are very poor people, don't have any jobs, so to say. They do farm laborers work or odd jobs or sell some basic products to earn their livelihood, and yet they said they're going to celebrate by distributing mirchi vada and kachori in Jaisalmer area. When I went to Majnu Patila a day later, there was a bhandara going on. Again, the means of these refugees are very limited, but still they all got together and they were celebrating by distributing puri, rice and sabzi to the neighborhood. It was a festive atmosphere there. We've seen Kamalika send us pictures from how the Matuas are celebrating in West Bengal. So of course, for these people from India, from Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh, it was a matter of life and death. They've been living in India as refugees for almost 10 years, in some cases more. So for them, it was a matter of celebration that finally they will not be considered stateless. They will have a state to call their own. They would be eligible for employment opportunities. Their children will get proper education. They will have a permanent roof above their head. So that's the sentiment as far as these refugees are concerned. But there are some concerns also. Protests are reported from interiors of Assam. But the government is confident that with the right messaging, these protesters will also go back home.
In fact, Arunima, we'd like to deep dive into that messaging which is also taking place as far as the Bharatiya Janata Party is concerned. We've seen that interview by the Home Minister as well. Before I get into that, let me also play out the reactions that have come in as far as the protests that are taking place in the national capital. Let's listen in to those reactions.
12 साल हो
अभी
गए।
जो दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री का बयान आया है सीएए के कानून को लेकर, इस पे आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
उसने जो बयान दिया है, घुसपैठिया हमें करार दिया है, हमें चोर करार दे दिया है, हमें बहुत दुख हुआ। हमें इतना दुख हुआ है जो पाकिस्तान में हमारे साथ अत्याचार होता था, ये हमारी बच्चों बहन बेटियों के साथ जो अत्याचार होता था, उससे भी ज्यादा दुख हुआ जो कल उसने हमें चोर, हमें घुसपैठिया, हम क्या घुसपैठिया नजर आ रहे हैं? अगर घुसपैठी हम होते तो ऐश करते। इंडिया मुसलमान रह रहे उनके बारे में नहीं बोलते, बांग्लादेशी मुसलमान रहते उनके बारे में नहीं बोलते। जो हम हिंदू हैं इसलिए हमें टारगेट किया जा रहा है। यार प्लीज केजरीवाल को कहते हैं, सर प्लीज इन बच्चों पे रहम करो, इन बच्चों मासूम बच्चों पे रहम करो जो पाकिस्तान में 70 साल के मुल्ला जो इनको जबरन धर्म परिवर्तन करा के इनसे निकाह करके ले जाते थे, उन पे रहम किया जाए। प्लीज हम यही रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं और अपना बयान वापस लें।
Right, let's quickly go across to Aman, who's also joining me on the broadcast, as is Payal. In fact, I'd like to take my first question from Aman. Aman, listening to what that protester has to say, the point that was being made by the Union Home Minister is becoming even, more clear now as you listen to these protesters and their plea that, nobody has taken a stand for us. And in fact, they talk about the Muslims, the minorities, the persecuted ones. But what about the persecuted Hindus? That is the question that's being raised, and perhaps only wants me to allude to what the Home Minister was saying, that no justice has been given when the partition happened and when the entire nation was divided into three parts. There was the entire issue for the persecution of, as far as the persecuted minorities, those Hindus are concerned, was only dissolved in appeasement politics by the Congress party back then.
Well, Akansha, yes, what the Home Minister said in this interview is very, very clear. Him saying that, when the country was partitioned, number one, the Jansangh and the BJP was never in agreement with the partition. But when it happened on religious grounds, the solemn promise at that time from everybody was that once the violence ends, whichever persecuted minority wants to come to India, the doors will be open for them. But that promise was never followed through. The Home Minister saying that, through the CAA, the government is honoring that promise that, persecuted minorities in 3 countries of our neighborhood, if they feel, if they have been victimized, if they are being tried to, religious conversions are being done, these people can see India as their home. Whoever has come in before 2014 by any means will be given fast-track citizenship under the CAA law. The Home Minister, in fact, slamming Arvind Kejriwal in that interview, saying that Arvind Kejriwal's statement, these people will come and do crimes, they will snatch away jobs, is completely unfounded because everybody is already here. The cut-off date for giving citizenship under the law is December 31st, 2014. So whoever has come by that date will qualify for getting citizenship, can make application and get citizenship under the CAA law in a fast-track manner. So Kejriwal's statement is completely unfounded. He also, Amit Shah also slammed Mr. Kejriwal, Mr. Owaisi, Mamata Banerjee, the Congress party for doing vote bank politics over this issue. He said CAA law is not about snatching anybody's citizenship. It is in fact about giving people citizenship, because he said these people are our own people. They were all part of one India before 1947. The solemn promise given to them to be brought to welcome to India if they feel persecution elsewhere was never followed. And he said this law also, CAA, was brought in 2019 as part of the BJP's manifesto. People voted us on the behalf of that manifesto.
Right.
We brought that law and now only the rules have been implemented, which was a formality.
Absolutely. Payal, if I could bring you in on this bit, important to also highlight how there's been delinking as far as the CAA issue is concerned with that of NRC. And the opposition is constantly being seen harping on the NRC aspect, whether it is the state of Tamil Nadu or even Kerala, West Bengal, what we've seen happen in Assam, and now what we are seeing happen in Delhi. We've seen this constant focus on NRC, but clearly the government has gone on record to make it amply clear that the contours of the CAA have been reworked.
Well, as far as Amit Shah is concerned, one thing you will understand that Amit Shah does not mince his words. Essentially, he speaks his mind and he speaks it amply clearly. So, obviously, over here, he's mentioned this very, very clearly that the CAA has nothing to do with NRC and NRC has nothing to do with CAA. So, obviously, the opposition party needs to stop scaring people at a very crucial juncture. The opposition party, he alleges, is using these things to create fear in the minds of the people. And why is it that people like Mamata Banerjee and Arvind Kejriwal never spoken about illegal migrants? Why have they never spoken about Rohingyas who have illegally entered through the border? So that's something which Amit Shah has really and very amply, clearly has defined. And he said that whenever anything is going to happen, they're going to make it very, very clear. Even for the CAA, the BJP never made it a very secretive issue. It was an issue which was highlighted very well in the manifesto in 2014 and 2019. The bill was passed in the parliament, in both houses of parliament. The BJP was able to, in fact, tell people, and 9 extensions were taken from the legislative committee, essentially saying that because of the COVID vaccination drive, these rules could not really come. But on every occasion, whenever Amit Shah has come out in the public and spoken, he has said this in as many words that the CAA rules will be notified. There has been no dilly-dallying as far as that is concerned. There has been no, he doesn't mince his words at all as
Right.
well. So
But
that's something which, of course, the BJP hopes that will clear the air, and that's the reason this extensive interview coming in, from the Home Minister to a national agency, given the fact that they want the country and the people to be assured that the government is not going to take away the citizenship. There is no need to fear about NRC or the other things as well that the opposition parties are really trying to spread. And anybody who does not even have documentation, provision will also be made for them. So that's as clear as it can get when the Home Ministers put out all these facts in a matter of a couple of hours.